out. Gillum Jones is out. Can it get over the top of Anderson? Tracks all the way back in. It does. And he's locked in. What a goal!
Inundated. So popular.
Good morning, everybody, from a lovely sunny Canley. I'm Gareth Denyer, and I'm joined in the commentary box by Pete Landry. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning, Gareth.
So we've already got some action on lawn 3, where Robert Fletcher is playing Matthew Essick. Robert has put in a super shot with his blue ball, and Matthew looks as if he's hitting to maximum distance on the eastern boundary. Any surprises there, Pete?
No surprises. Well, not a surprise, but it's just the progress Robert's doing throughout the tournament. He was corner 2, opening going second a lot, and going first. I saw very few super shots from Robert. So he's taking straight away the initiative to.
So this is lawn 3 we're looking at the moment. We're when the camera pans over there, there we go. There's Robert on lawn 3, about to take his shot down from B balk, down from corner 3 at Matthew's red ball there.
It is slightly narrower super shot than Robert does. He's usually another half yard to the west of where the blue is, and maybe a half yard south. But so he has been pushing them up, and I have been seeing him play the super shot.
So our first Croquet attempt of the game.
And he hits that very well on the left-hand side,
Beautiful.
so it makes this Croquet shot just a little bit easier.
So the other game is between Ed Wilson and Reg Bamford. That's on lawn 4. And they're just warming up at the moment. It's been quite interesting watching their different warm-up routines. Reg has been playing shots along the boundaries, checking out how they're performing, and Ed has been doing lots of approach shots. So quite a different thing. But back onto lawn 3 here. Robert attempting to load hoop 2 and get a rush on his blue ball to hoop 1 with this Croquet shot. And it looks a little bit short.
A little bit short. They have been mowed. It was either last night or early this morning.
They have.
And that's just lawn 3 and 4 been mowed for these 2 semi-finals, and possibly it felt a little bit quicker in the warm-up from Robin, and he's just held off that slightly.
Off that. Well, I gather that they have been mown to 10 cents.
Yes.
Yeah.
the technical term of the 10 cents.
Yeah. The 3-headed Toro mower has come out and, under the supervision of Jim Clement, has come out and mown the lawns to the thickness of a 10-cent piece, which is, I would imagine, reasonably fast.
Yeah, so he has a tricky little 4-yard rolling from the west.
Is he going to play this as a roll, or is he going to stand up?
He'll play it. I would say he's doing his stand-up type of slight drive, a bit of roll. All he's concentrating is getting this black ball. That's a straight run. He's not too worried where blue ends up. It's nice if it's on the right line. And that's a great little bit of touch. Just slightly big, but not too bad for
looks all right.
First hoop game 1 with a 3-ball break ahead.
Now, interestingly, in the other game, Reg seems to be on I don't know whether it's a 2-ball break or...
It's a warm-up.
It's a warm-up, yeah. Sorry, yeah. No, that's still part of the warm-up.
Well,
I thought that looked a bit odd. I suddenly looked over, and there, Ed was sitting down looking forlorn, and Reg was was doing a 2-ball break. So
Well, Robert's going to have the first test out
yeah,
of the morning.
yeah, a good Roquet back.
A good Roquet back, and he certainly can't afford not to shoot it. That double from A-Balk on blue-red looks pretty juicy.
So obviously, missing this would not be all that good because it would give Matthew a tap on with his yellow ball. So Robert, this is a big test. You know, a good 14 yards for Robert.
The opening shot from B-Balk was very, very smooth, and he got a good chunk of the ball. So I'd be expecting to keep him the same swing going and centre
look
balls.
at that! Yeah. Amazing, absolutely amazing, right in the centre. It's just phenomenal.
And Matthew would have played, well, most likely would have played Robert in the MAC doubles. I haven't checked that, but I've certainly played Robert enough times over the years. And you're sitting on the sideline, and when Robert starts like this, hits that opening shot crisply, and then looks the part straight away. He's just sitting on the side and thinking, well, I'm going to have to do something special, Roberts, and that frame of mind straight away. There's not a hint of him possibly going to put out an early error, which sometimes you can get from Robert at hoop 1 or a earlier miss Roquet, but those opening shots show that Robert's on the money straight away. While we're waiting for Robert's croquet shots, we've got here on lawn 2, we have Ian DeMurg playing Chris Schilling, which is in the bowl semi-final, which will be a very closely contested match.
There's the bowl, the shield, and the solver, and they increase in esteem, do they?
Yes. Well, the shield we've had a few from first round and second round knockouts as well, competing in it. But the bowl is you lose your round of 32 and you go into the bowl, and these guys since then haven't lost. So it's a good one to get.
But this looks phenomenal from Robert at the moment, doesn't it? I mean, you know, that rush up to hoop 2 there. I mean, he couldn't have picked it up and placed it any better than where he's taking the croquet shot from, and he's already got himself a pretty good pioneer at hoop 3.
Lawn 1, we've had a big strong handshake from Edward and Reg.
And Reg looks like he's going in with the black ball. It looks as if he's going to play it to 10 yards or so north of corner 4.
Well, I'm not sure what he's been shooting it.
Edwards, he has. He's been shooting at that ball, hasn't he?
Not sure what his plan is.
Yeah.
I think it's more
so I think it might be worth us just having a flicking over to lawn 4, because although Robert's 3-ball break here is intriguing, the opening for the Reg game is quite a pivotal moment. So Reg has put his ball 10 yards north of corner 4, and Edward is marching up to the end of B-Balk to play a shot, I think perhaps into corner 2. I think that's what he looks like he's going to do. No, he's going to play the Duffer's Tice. He's going to knock the ball quite, what about maybe 3 yards south of hoop 6, and on the western side. So Reg is faced with a Duffer's Tice from Edward. Meanwhile, on lawn 3, we've got Robert with a perfect pioneer at hoop 4, and now approaching perfectly hoop 3 on his 3-ball break. Now, Reg having a good think about what he's going to do with Ed's Duffers. Pete, Edward put the yellow ball into the west there. Normally the Duffers goes in on the east side.
On the east. Yeah,
What's the reasoning there?
he may know Reg doesn't shoot at his own ball down the B-balk line, especially watching Reg warm up. They were all tailing off, especially at that distance. So hitting this black clean, can just add to the croquet stroke to load 2 and rush to 1. But I'm not exactly sure what Edward's thinking is. But
So Reg is certainly shaping to shoot at his own ball. What would you do against Edward here? Would you be
no, you got to hit. So you're taking as many short shots as you can.
So you'd be going for the going for the yellow ball.
Oh no, I'd be going for the black ball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly what Reg is doing.
All right.
Yeah.
But the yellow ball is a bit of a shorter shot, though, isn't it?
Not enough reward for the hit.
No,
No.
because and a lot of bad consequence if you miss. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, no, when I meant the shorter shot, the difference between A and B ball shooting for Reg.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So your Reg was always going to shoot for his own ball. It was just a question.
I
of whether
think
it was
so,
the
especially
B
on this boundary at lawn 4.
So shoots and misses. So that's very intriguing. It gives Ed a shot at his own target, or he might even shoot at Reg's balls, depending on how they lie.
Yes.
There's, I guess there wouldn't be a double. Reg wouldn't have missed by enough to leave a double there on the eastern boundary. But
confident shooter, Edwin, and a few yards difference of shot doesn't always make that much difference, especially if it is a target.
And reward-wise, what's if Ed could?
I think if Edward connects with any of these two shots on offer, he's like
it's
to make a break.
reasonably equivalent.
Yeah.
So whether or not he hits the black or the black stroke blue, or whether he hits the yellow, he'd still got a break ahead of him. Well, it looks like he's shaping to shoot at the black or the blue. So I'm not sure how close the black and the blue are. They're probably a good yard apart.
Reg is coming back to the clubhouse, which is a little bit of a walk. I think he's over.
It's a bit of a walk, and possibly unnecessary. At
coming
this stage,
to get something, or figured, well, that's first break down. I'm not sure.
And I've got the dead dodgy headset that pops out.
Yes, deliberately done, Gareth.
Yes, I know.
I struggled with
you
that
engineered
yesterday.
that. I know you did that purposely. So Ed shoots and misses, goes through the middle by the looks of things. So that's that will curtail Reg's walk to the whoops.
Sorry, we're just still attempting to get the scoreboard here working for you. Not sure what I'm doing wrong.
So Chris Clark, who has popped up to the commentary box, just explained to me why Ed put his Duffers Tice in on the western side, and it was because it makes it a little bit more difficult for the player playing black and blue to get the rush that they want if they're successful at hitting. Oh, Ed is. No, he's just marking the balls in, isn't he? He's
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. For a moment, the fact that he was still on the lawn made me think he might have got some sort of clip on that, but he's just putting a lot of effort into making sure that the balls are correctly positioned on the line. Meanwhile, on lawn 3, Robbie is continuing with his break. He's loading one back and going to hoop 6, and it's absolutely flawless.
Yeah, all under control.
Absolutely flawless. the line between the black, the blue, and the spot that he wants to rush to is a perfect line. It's so Reg walking on to lawn 4, faced with a good opportunity to make the first 9 hoops. So we'll stay with Robbie for the moment as he hopes to complete this break. So Pete, the conditions pretty good today for games. The light breeze, the sun will be shining all day,
and not too
not
hot.
hot.
Not hot.
It'll get low
Just nice
20s.
conditions.
And my preferred Norwegian weather site tells me that the conditions will be absolutely
And
brilliant.
0 rain forecast,
0 rain.
which means in Melbourne it could be teeming at 2 o'clock.
No. I trust the weather site.
Yes, go the Norwegians.
Yeah. So we're looking at the action on lawn 4 at the moment. This is where Reg Bamford and Ed Wilson are playing. Reg has secured himself a rush up to Ed's Duffer's Tice ball.
After hoop 4 on the Robert Matthew matches, it's been pretty well classic free ball break play by Robert. All the pioneer loads are inside the court, and and if you for some reason get a bit of angle on a hoop and you can't control it for rushes anywhere, the balls are well placed to play the croquet shots in without much danger, and all of the shortest distances. So,
it's been
so
an
the one back loader, the 2 back loader, absolutely perfect.
Yeah, an incredible way to come out right from the start and hit not only the maximum distance ball on the super shot, but also he had a 14-yard return roquet after hoop 2, which he absolutely centred, and just has looked like he's in complete control since then. So Reg has rushed down the yellow ball to hoop 1.
And it was a good rush.
And it's a good rush, and he has a pioneer at hoop 2. And even the red ball, which is hanging around level with hoop 4, is off the boundary.
Nice,
and
probably
will be easy
the
for him
lawn
to
would
pick
be
up.
an easier second and a half quicker than what he was on yesterday, and so it's a nice touch to get that first rush.
So
Self hoop 1.
Yep, it's looking very positive for the Australian, Robert Fletcher on lawn 3, and the South African Reg Bamford on lawn 4.
From an Australian perspective, it's a great position we are in here. We have two runners in the semis, and both on opposite sides of the draw. So
yes. So there's some very interesting
situation for Australia.
Very interesting possibilities for the final, and 2 tantalising ties as well. I mean, in both cases, you've got some really fantastic up-and-coming talent.
Couldn't have written the script any better.
Playing very, very well-established, brilliant players.
And brilliant players who have won world championships.
Former world champions. Just absolutely fantastic matchups. So, possibly worth flicking to lawn 3 to see Robert complete his 3rd turn 9. This is always an intriguing part of the exercise, the way a player ends the break. And particularly as Reg looks in very, very good form on lawn 4 with a laid 4-ball break now, basically.
Well, you get to see, while you're playing yourself in the event, you don't see everything, but I got to play Robert on day 3 of the event, and he also did a turn 9 against me, and he set the defensive leave rather than the reasonably popular free duck leave at the moment.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see. He will know that Matt hit a couple of very, very
Yep.
long shots against Felix yesterday. So if we pop over to see Robert complete this, so he's making 3 back now off the red ball, and he's put the blue ball towards the western boundary, about 6 yards in and a little bit south of the line of hoop 6. So, well, what does that give you any clue, Pete, as to whether there'll be ducks?
No, well,
or
no, it's it's going to be ducks. But I'm just saying, at the side he did do the defensive leave against myself. It was we were playing single games on a block as opposed to a best of 5, and Robert will have different plays for different opponents. So I think it's just more the mindset Robert's in. It's
so he won't have a rush
person.
out of 3 back here. He's gone past the red ball.
Not vital. The ducks is more the placement of the, obviously giving no double from A or B ball. And
so the roll up to there is not. It doesn't hold any terrors, particularly. I mean, you because he'll have the blue ball to work off to make sure that he doesn't leave a double. But popping up to have a look anyway.
I know it needs as much care as all of his other shots, but he has, it's not requiring everything to land right on the money. He's got a little bit of flexibility in it.
And as expected on lawn 4, Reg has not only made hoop 2, but he got a nice rush to the red ball, which was near hoop 4. So he's at the conclusion of this little interchange, he'll have an absolutely textbook 4-ball break ahead of him.
And as you'd expect in these events, there's 76 out players at the moment, not a contest to win the World Championship, and everyone offers opinion of their thoughts of who may come out of these 2 semis, and a lot of support for the younger players of Edward and Matthew, and the ones that are predicting the Robert and the Reg is, the one of the big factors is, it comes down to a bit of experience in these big events, and I think for Matthew and Edward, they'd be looking for a sniff of a slight, offness or an error or something early from the 2 established players, and sitting on the sideline seeing Reg, sitting in the commentary box seeing Reg and Robert start the way they have, is it means you straight away know that it's going to come down to you hitting a very high percentage of shots and obvious stuff of making very, very few errors.
Yes, because Reg and Robert do not look as if they're in the mood for making errors.
They
do that.
Nice. We were in the commentary box and we saw a lot of Reg yesterday. The camera was mostly on him, and it was very, very classy control.
So Robert having a good think about where he's going to position the balls on taking quite a lot of time to really think about where the ducks are going to end up. And Reg, meanwhile, continues the relentless progress on the 4-ball break. So maybe if we just pop to lawn 3 so that we can see the concluding croquet shot of Robert's leave. He places the blue ball in the most westerly position, and a good 2 to 3 yards between each of the 3 balls that are in a line. So absolutely no opportunities for doubles there at all. He's positioning the black ball just about 4 feet, maybe 2 yards to the east of the blue ball. So an incredibly, and I mean, to call that tidy would be would be an understatement. It was apart from the fact that he had a 14-yard rush after hoop 2, everything was just placed on a blade of grass.
Before hoop 2. Yeah, it was the run from hoop 1.
Oh, it was the run from hoop 1. Yeah,
but
yeah.
tough no matter what.
Yeah, regardless. Yeah, it was still the same distance. Yeah. So Matthew very quick out of the blocks. Didn't have to think at all about what he was going for.
And the red's just a yard or two.
Yeah, no, it's a bit shorter.
Shorter than the others.
He's going to be shooting at the red ball.
Bit of a floater out there from
maybe about 18 yards away from where he is. Takes his stance. We'll know he's about to take the shot because he crouches down and forms a very, very stable base. Shoots.
Smooth.
And just misses to the left. Just misses to the left. Very unfortunate. Well, he had his first shot about 25 minutes ago and comes out to play his second shot 25 minutes later, and it can be quite tough when you're sitting down for that long. You've watched your opponent progress in an incredibly controlled manner, and then you have to come out, and he came out very quickly. He played the shot very quickly. That's his style.
Yeah.
It's the way he likes to do it.
There's also a best of 5, so it's
there's time.
There's room and time.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of him getting into some groove when he does take Croquet from an opening. But a best of 5 against Robert Fletch, you want. You don't have to have them, but it's nice to get a win out of the early games. You don't want to put Robert in a position where he needs 1 win out of 3 games or something.
No,
no,
that's right. And particularly before 11 o'clock in the morning. That's probably not what you'd want. So Robert now sizing up his rush to hoop 1. It's a bit of an angle. It's certainly not a dolly, but it would be one that he'd been faced with many thousands of times in his career, and certainly would be quite happy with it. Let's see what he does. About 16 yards down, and well, again, I don't think he could have picked a better spot, really, could he? No. It's right in front of hoop 1 and about 3 yards south of it, and gives him the opportunity to put the reception red ball wherever he really wants it. Remember Matt's yellow ball, which he shot at red, is in corner 2. So wind, certainly not a factor today. The flags are gently fluttering. Interestingly, not uniformly. They're on the right-hand side as we look. The flags are a lot more robustly moving than on the left. But I think things do tend to swirl a bit at Cairnley. I think the position of the building actually makes a big difference to what wind circulates around. Probably the first day that there hasn't been any threat of rain, and that's been quite a factor, I think. It's just the conditions have been a little bit difficult on occasions.
Yep.
Yeah. Does Robbie split to the yellow here, Pete, or does he just
yeah.
go to the black?
No, I think he's just going to float this, you know, and land 3 yards away from the yellow ball.
From the yellow ball, yeah. So loading hoop 3
It's
and going to get a shot on the yellow. And exactly as Pete said, gives himself a 4-5 yarder at the yellow. That would have me quaking in my boots, but I don't think it will have Robbie quaking in his boots. So, yeah.
And the black ball's in a good position to
The black ball's in an
load this
excellent
to hoop
position,
4
isn't it?
and
Yeah,
give him a bit of room to
yeah.
get the, well, now the peely over to hoop 3.
And then Pete, Robbie will be hoping to get a rush out of hoop 2 to send the black ball over to 4 back.
Yes.
So he's walking down to have a look at the exact blade of grass that he wants his blue ball to land on. On lawn 4, Reg is continuing to progress with a textbook 4-ball break. Absolutely perfect pioneers, and not really anything to see there in terms of anything going wrong.
No, and Edward is, you know, is the out player sitting there.
Yeah,
Edward's like a lot of players,
checking out
check
social
whatever
media,
they're doing on
whatever he's
on
doing.
the phone as the out player.
But
But his first Croquet went through the middle of the double, so he's,
yeah,
you know, it was a good swing.
yeah. No, there's plenty of croquet left in these best of 5s, but certainly the ex-world champions making a very strong statement at the beginning of their turns. So Robbie was going to now be playing to get the black onto the eastern side of the hoop, so that after he's run it, he gets a rush over to the.
Well, yeah, it's like Robert's shortening up the pioneer, so he's put the yellow towards hoop 3 as well, so he still will get the rush on hopefully get the rush on the black ball over there, and then be able to play the load for 4 from the north boundary, which is going to be a straight controlled shot, so a lot better option than the big load from corner 2.
He's gone slightly past the point that he wanted there, but again, he'll any wire that he gets coming out of this hoop will actually put him.
Yes, he didn't give it all his bounce set.
Oh, and that's a big change. That's now given Matt complete access to all the balls. He has a tap on at hoop 3, and that is quite amazing.
Yeah, he was taking no chances on the hoop of getting stuck or controlling a rush.
No,
like
he really
hoop 1,
belted it, didn't he?
He's
really
going to the
belted it,
boundary
yeah.
and hitting the return Croquet.
So we have
a change up.
We have a change, and that's a.
Maybe if we could get the camera to go to the. Where are they? Are they on that lawn?
You want to go to lawns 4 to watch Reg?
Yeah, he's coming up
Reg's
to
leave.
laying a leave and a couple of shots. And Matthew, I think, will get in a break established here, then we can come back to him.
So just to reiterate, Matthew has his own 2 balls at hoop 3 with a perfect rush towards Reg's balls at hoop 2, and really should make a break at this stage. I mean, it's almost too good sometimes when you when you walk on and you have this situation, because you feel the pressure to make the break. Things can only go wrong. Whereas if you've got to do a little bit of work, then it focuses the mind a bit more, I think. So anyway, we're back looking at what Reg is up to. His ball is now on 2-back. He has a very nice pioneer at 3-back, so we'll be watching him make the leave, and then we'll be seeing Ed have a crack at that. I'll keep you posted on what Matt is doing. He's engineered himself a perfect 21-yard rush towards hoop 1, which he clonks down, and the ball just clips into hoop 1, but not anything that will cause him any pain.
No, and with two pioneers up at hoop 2, no
Yes,
rushes essential out of the hoop.
No, yeah, that's right. So it could have, there was a very, very small chance that it could have ended unkindly for him, with balls jammed in hoops and making it very difficult for him to do something, but it actually turns out that he's safely through. He'll have to play a split shot, but it's probably one of the easier split shots he'll play to load hoop 3, because as Pete said, there are 2 pioneers waiting for him up at hoop 2. Reg, meanwhile, has returned Croquet after making 2-back, and he'll be looking to rush this black ball up the lawn. So Matthew has loaded his pioneer at hoop 3 and is now looking just to establish his rhythm and cadence at this stage. Remember, he's been sitting down watching Robert in a very, very commanding display, and it must feel good for him to be walking around the lawns and clonking balls around. It's very, very important to get the pace of the lawn and to feel like you're getting some flow going. As we were saying earlier, the lawns were freshly mown this morning to a depth of a 10-cent piece, and so they'll be running a bit quicker. They'll dry out a bit. There's a reasonable breeze and the sun is shining, so by 11 o'clock today they'll be a fair bit faster than they are now. And Reg taking off down to the 3-back pioneer, and he's classically left 2 balls by the peg to engineer his diagonal spread.